go to hang a left in Harmon. They're going too fast to make the turn, and they've got 2 tires that they've blown out by slamming into a curb when they were fleeing the scene. So between having 2 tires on the right side of the car blown out and trying to make that left-hand turn onto Harmon, they just can't do it. So they spin out. So they spin out. They're literally in the middle of the intersection. And all the other cars are too. So everybody comes to a stop. Now this happens right as I'm kind of sliding in on my bike. I laid the bike down and came sliding in. And so it's not really a matter of me getting to them. We run into each other.
Gotcha.
So we're right there. So I hopped off the bike.
And you're the first officer on the
Yeah,
scene.
I'm alone. I'm the sergeant. So
Wow.
the sergeant generally rides alone,
You're the
and
first one there.
everybody else.
And you have no idea what's going on.
No
you
idea.
You hear that there might have been a shooting, shots fired, and you don't know what you're dealing with.
Right, and there's 2 other bike cops that are chasing these guys.
Which is very dangerous. You don't know what's going on.
Oh, it's a terrible mess, and you know, in the fact that it's right in the middle of the strip. And in fact, one of my first thoughts was, this is going to be a shootout. I thought in my mind, for sure it's a shootout, and it's going to be in the middle of the Las Vegas Strip, and I'm going to be in so much trouble that I can't even think about it, that I got into I started a shooting in the middle of the Strip, but it's just happened to be, it'd be great if these things happen out in the middle of the desert, but it is where it is. So I pulled out my gun, started yelling. The doors open, and everybody gets out of their cars, and they're just kind of standing there.
And when you say everybody, you're talking about Suge and Tupac.
Not Tupac.
No,
not
he's
Tupac
still in the
yet.
car.
He's still in the car.
But Suge is the first person that gets out of the car.
Suge has gotten out, and there's 7, 8 other guys there, part of the entourage, and
So
the other cars.
there were people in other cars following Tupac and Suge.
In front and in back of them.
Wow.
So, which I don't think anybody's made clear exactly how that train of cars makes sense. I still don't know the full deal.
So these were their entourage.
Exactly. It's an entourage of guys, say maybe 7, 8 guys, 6 cars.
Suge gets out of the car first. Do you recognize him? Do you know who he is?
No, I have no idea. Everybody kind of gets out at the same time.
Okay.
So I'm waiting for the shooting. I'm pointing my gun at everybody. I'm yelling at them to get on the ground so I can kind of control the situation. And I can tell right off the bat, these are kind of like hardcore dudes. These aren't just your average citizens getting out. I was like, all right, these are some pretty rough guys. So I'm yelling at everybody to get down on the ground. And there's kind of sort of compliance and sort of not. They're kind of like looking at each other. Some of them get down, some of them don't. And you can tell there's this little very uncomfortable setting of, do we listen to this guy? Do we not listen to this guy?
While all this is going on, Tupac is close to taking his last breath.
Tupac
still in the car.
is in the car. So right then, while I'm trying to keep my eyes on everything and everybody, I notice there's one guy still sitting in the car. Nobody else.
You see him sitting in the car?
I see him sitting in the car, and I'm like, okay, this is the guy that's going to shoot me, because he's not. I can't see what he's doing. I can't see his hands. He could have a machine gun sitting on his lap for all I know. So I point my gun at him, yelling at him to get out of the car. He doesn't move. So I walk up to the car, gun in right hand, grab the door handle with my left hand, and I could see right when I got up to the car, right around the door handle, there's bullet holes like all around it, a very tight grouping of bullet holes. The window is shot, and the side window is shot, and the windshield is shot too on the side, next to the post. So a lot of bullet holes. So I go to pull open the car. I couldn't get it open at first, and I think what had happened is those shots had somewhat disabled the mechanism of the door handle. So I'm pulling on it. I'm yanking on it, and I finally am able to get the thing open. It pops open. Well, when it pops open, Tupac, now mind you, I don't know he's Tupac yet, he was leaning against the door. So as soon as I open the door, he kind of falls out with the door. He slumps right out with the door as I open it. So I grabbed him with my left hand, and I just kind of, took him down to the pavement, just brought him down to the pavement while he's in my arm. And I could see right away, it was very apparent this guy was in bad shape. He had multiple torso shots. I couldn't tell where, there's so much going on. There's a lot of blood. He's wearing a lot of jewelry, and there's so much blood, and with the gold jewelry, I could already see the blood is starting to coagulate in the jewelry, and he's bleeding out of his mouth and nose. And I was like, oh man.